bum, bum, bum. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Why, hello there. Why, hello there. Just got back from 7-Eleven with my sandwich and candy. Nice. I mean, not real nice that you're having to eat a 7-Eleven sandwich. I'm kind of sorry about that, but nah, it's not really cold enough to do a fire. It's chilly, but it's not like, I don't know. I just haven't felt doing a fire. Maybe I need to force myself to do one of these nights, but tonight it's not that night. Tonight I'm gonna sit around and enjoy the peace and quiet, because I live in a neighborhood that doesn't have street lights, which means it doesn't have trick-or-treaters, which means that it's quiet as fuck here. They make a turkey cheddar sub with Southwest Bagel. That's the bomb. I already had dinner. This is my choice. All right, buddy. All right. Maybe 7-Eleven has upgraded their food game since last I delved into it. You know what I mean? It's been a while. You live out in the sticks? Yeah. Not like, I wouldn't say like in the sticks, but I'm not in the township proper. I live on county land or whatever, so. Yeah, there's no street lights or fire hydrants or anything like that. No public utilities out here, just roads. And the stars, it's kind of like overcast, unfortunately. It's not like cloudy or stormy or anything. It's just kind of like hazy, I guess. So I can't really see the lights. Plus, there's a fuck ton of light pollution where I'm at. Like I said, I'm in the county, but I'm not that far from a town, so it's like it basically lights up the entire fucking what would it be? Never eat soggy waffles. If that's west, fuck. I always have a hard time with this shit. I'm so directionally challenged. Sunrise is over there, so that's the west. Then that must be east. South. Yeah, the whole. Sorry, I had to do the compass in my head. South. So yeah, the whole southern sky is lit up like a fucking Christmas tree because there's a town there that's got 24/7, street lights and businesses and all that shit. And it's really apparent. Like, it's really sad because I can imagine a time when that was a tenth of what it is, when this was a much smaller area, when this house was built. The night skies out here must have been fucking deep country dark. And now it's just kind of like everything's lit up over there. Tons of light pollution. I've got high hopes, man. I've got high hopes. I was reading a thread about Starlink, Elon Musk's satellites. People are like, oh, that ain't never going to work, but he just keeps launching them. There's a bunch of people that live in these like rural areas on the eastern seaboard who are saying that they got hooked up to their Starlink and they're getting really decent speeds, minimal like packet loss and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, if I fucking can wait about a year, the housing market crashes, I could get a fucking piece of land in the boonies. You know what I mean? That's just got basic, like, it's on a well, it's got basic electrical to it, but nothing else. And if Starlink is good enough, I could fucking literally get something like that for a song, dude. And really set up a nice spot. We'll see. We've had satellite internet for a long time, and it's prohibitively expensive. Only makes sense. It's going to become more and more affordable, like every other technology. Oh yeah, for sure. It makes me like hopeful that maybe I'll be able to get a spot where I can see, like, that's got minimal light pollution. You know, it's out far away enough from civilization that it's, you know, minimally polluted light wise, or that it's maybe easy for me to get to a place that's like that. I'd have to take a 2-hour drive basically, maybe a little longer, to escape the light pollution in the area that I live in, which is just so sad. I'd have to go way up in the Sierras, like way, way, way up in the fucking Sierras to get above the light pollution coming out of the valley, coming out of LA. I'm really interested in seeing the future of artificial intelligence. Okay, cool. Experts say the housing market is not going to crash. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what they were saying in 2008 too. I remember. See, this is something, or like, well, like 2007, 2006. I remember, okay, I'll tell you guys a story. I bought my condo, right, at a time when the housing market was pretty cool. This was when I was 21 years old. So you got to keep in mind, we're talking like 2001 prices. I was able to buy a condo for $40,000, okay? Out the door. Financed it. When I checked in 2008, I lived in that condo from 2000 to 2007, 2008. Bought it in 2001. When I looked at the price of that condo in 2008, I almost shit my fucking pants. The condo was worth $120,000. And I was like, oh. Like, to me, that was the most money I'd ever seen. Experts. Yeah. Thanks, Blue Noble. And so I decided to sit on it. I was like, fuck. If in 8 years it's gone from $40,000 to $120,000, and all the experts are saying that the housing market's just going to keep going up. I mean, if I live here another 10 years or something, I could sell this place for like maybe $300,000, maybe $500,000. Like, I don't know. Well, in 2008, well, late 2007, the housing market crashed. And that $120,000 estimation on my condo disappeared basically and was replaced with a $50,000 estimation. So in 8 years, I'd gained $10,000 in value. And so my girlfriend at the time, well, I guess fiance at the time, and I just jumped on it. We were like, fuck it. This is the time to buy a house. House prices are ridiculously low. And so we did. The house that we bought back in the day is probably worth right now, if I had to put a fucking number on it, 3 times as much as we paid for it. I mean, it's got to be absurd. It's got to be like absurd. So it's starting to look like them days again. So experts can say what they want, but I've just watched too many of these little fucking whoop 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 bubbles and shit. I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, it always happens that way." I asked her if like this whole housing market crash stuff was new. I remember it was right around the time we bought our house, and she was like, no, you guys are just smart. This always happens. Like it gets all the market gets all super high and everybody gets all excited and starts buying up houses and it drives the market up, and then all of a sudden like there's too many houses and not enough people to live in it. The bottom comes out of it, speculative value or whatever goes down, and then people buy up all those houses. Another economist say that the labor shortage will end. These people act like they foresaw workers getting pissed off and quitting to begin with. They probably did. I mean, think about it. They've been testing this shit. Like, if you think there's not a concerted effort to like push the American worker as far as they fucking can, you haven't been paying attention. Slowly but surely, they've stripped away value, stripped away coverage, stripped away insurance, stripped away fucking, privileges, stripped away hours at home. They're trying to see how far they can push you. Yeah, the experts are probably all invested in a lot of like these big real estate conglomeration firms, both here in America and in foreign countries, and then buying up real estate left and right as investment. But, same shit, different day. More and more people walking off. It's good. Yeah. No, it's a good thing. It's got people spooked, man. They keep calling it like the supply chain problem. Problems with the supply chain. It's like, let's dehumanize it as much as possible to try and make it less spooky. There's problems with the supply chain. Well, what does that mean functionally? That means that there are not enough dock workers to offload ships, so ships are backed up in the fucking harbors. Those dock workers offload ships and load up trucks, but there's not enough truck drivers. So there's less truck drivers and less dock workers handling more cargo because now it's all backed up. And where do those truck drivers drive from the dock with the product to? The warehouse. There's a shortage of warehouse workers. Okay? Those warehouse workers do what? Sort and ship to end user delivery people. And there's a shortage of delivery people. So there you go. The final link on the chain is retail shops. And there's a shortage of retail workers. There's the supply chain humanized for you. Makes it sound a little spookier, doesn't it? When you call it the supply chain, people think of a chain, they think, oh, it's just one component that you can fix. They're not listening to the language. A chain is made of many links. There are supply chain problems right now because a ton of those links aren't functioning right. Worker striking is like using the voice on our employers, only we all have to use it at once. Not enough spice. You got it, Blue Noble. You're right. You're correct. We have to just say, like, living wage. That was one of the cooler scenes in Dune. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow in IMAX. I work in manufacturing, and whether we're laid off or not, it's a week-to-week thing because we can't get all our components in all the time. Yeah. See, this is the thing. It's like, it's odd to me how this has happened, but this is a huge and fatal flaw in the way our economy has developed. So we've got these used to be like really niche consumer products, right? I gotta tell you guys, dude, building a computer back in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, that shit was like fucking fun because you had all of these companies that were price competing to drop these components lower. And you had all of this DIY aspect to it because you could get this RAM from this company and get the fucking, get a good deal on a fucking last gen CPU and get a good motherboard and fucking you had all this like competition, right? Because it was so niche. It was like a small group of people that even had the desire to build their own PCs and shit. I'm telling you, man. All of a sudden, all of those components, all of that shit is needed for everything. Because now everything has a computer inside of it. So you're talking like the brakes on your car are driven by a computer now, and fucking everything on your car. Your car basically is a moving computer now. Has all the components. Your TV, your fucking refrigerator in some cases. Like literally everything has become that. Not to mention phones becoming ubiquitous. And smartphones at that, not like these little Nokia phones that we were dealing with back in those days. We're talking like iPhone shit. And everybody's got one. And all of a sudden, what used to be kind of a niche need is an utterly central piece of the supply chain globally. And it's weak. Because as it turns out, some of the components needed to make some of those motherboards and circuits and CPUs and sticks of RAM are kind of hard to get in mass quantities and are finite, of course. And so what you're starting to see is the bottom coming out of capitalism. And there's a lot of interesting things that are probably going to happen here. You're seeing not just a supply chain problem. You're seeing the inability of human labor and transportation to provide enough raw materials to support the needs of a growing society globally. So this is, I think that we're going to see a lot of movement towards saving what we have and reuse. I think that the days of everybody getting the brand new phone the day it comes out are waning. And the people that have held on to a couple of their old phones are going to be pretty happy they did. Because I think that repairing and making functional those devices is going to be a super hot market. Now, I may be wrong about this shit, but massive energy crisis. See, that's another thing. It's like you're having an energy crisis. What's the humanization of your energy crisis? What does that actually mean? Matt Blank, don't act like you're my mom, please. I hate that shit, dude. Are you okay, sweetie? It's so weird and parasocial and shit, dude. If I wasn't okay, I'd be laying down or something. I'm fine. Are you okay, sweetheart? Jesus. We're going to see a healthy contingent of people buying up fruit trees to be self-sustaining. Same thing happened in 2009. Big rush on fruiting trees. We'll see. I mean, I know that I have plans to get some indigenous fruiting trees on my property. I'm not talking about making a giant garden. I'm just talking about making some parts of my land that I can live off of and supplement my living with. Would you grow cannabis, maybe? Yeah, a lot of people are starting to get chickens. Oh my God, it's Jason. Oh my fucking God, it's Jason. I love your Halloween costume, Paul, the never-ending void. Yeah, I decided to go as what you see after death this year. I thought that that's like the darkest Halloween costume. You know what I mean? Little Lord Fauntleroy. Little Lord Jason. What you see after a good nut. All right, Jason. Sleepy time, Jason. Oh, Jason. Yeah, I had to give Jason his wrench back. He's been okay recently, you know what I mean? Like, he did his time. He did his time wrenchless. He knows the consequences of his actions. Job's tears of Bataille are actually easy to grow. Dandelions and electric daisy are also good edible flower options, easy to grow. Cool. Nito Petito Burrito. Fonchito. Do you think the new Ghostbusters movie will be good? Uh, no. Mm, no. You know that like meme of Bugs Bunny saying no with his lips all out and it just says no there? That level of no. The last good Ghostbusters was the first one, Debate Me. The second Ghostbusters is a good movie. Is it as good as the original Ghostbusters? No. It's not even really trying to tell the same kind of story. Like, if you really want to break it down, I think Ghostbusters 2 is a misunderstood movie, and Ghostbusters 1 is a really obviously widely acclaimed good movie. And I think most of the time, because it doesn't shine as quite as bright as the first movie does, a lot of people like just kind of toss the second movie out. But the second movie is really good. And then, yeah, there was the 2016 all female remake, and that's garbage. And this upcoming reboot will be garbage as well. Just bottled a little mead. Wish I could share it with you guys. Okay. Dude, I love Vigo. As you are, I once was. As I am, you will be. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping I see a witch or a goblin or a servant of the dark or some shit, but so far I haven't. Starting to get pretty stoned though. Vigo of Carpathia, Scourge of Moldavia, Sorrow of Moldavia. Whatever he says. You should dress Dinor up for Halloween. No. I saw one costume that I want to get for Dinor. A dude made a costume for his little dog that looked made that it looked like it was pretty comfy for the dog to wear. Just a little suit that made it look like a spider. And then he put all these like hairy legs on it, so when the dog ran around, the legs would scramble around, and people thought it was a giant spider. I would do that. That would be hilarious. But no, dog costumes, man, they don't fucking celebrate holidays, man. That's why I like animals. You know what D is like on Christmas morning, bro? The same as he is on every other fucking day. Happy as fuck to wake up and come and sit outside with me. That's why I like dogs. I watched videos of people scaring people with that costume. Yeah, I just saw that. I just saw that shit today. Dogs don't judge. 'Tis true. They don't. Man. At this point, you'd kick the spider. Okay. Well, that's mean. You shouldn't do that.